So in this video, I'll be sharing with you what is really going on in terms of trends and forecasts for airline pilots, technicians, and cabin crews. I'll be talking about the release of an outlook that is often released by Boeing and Airbus. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because these are the two main, manufacturers of airplanes for transportation and freight. And this is something that they put a lot of extensive work into in terms of research and information that they gather. So they have their hands in all the industries worldwide in terms of aviation sector. So they are able to, get all this information and they put it into this document to share with the world. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to you is this. We know a lot of people are often trying to become pilots and often get discouraged due to maybe money, due to, so many factors, which I can't even get into this video. There is demand. The demand for pilots is there. The demand for technicians are there, the demand for new cabin crews, demand for airplanes, and so forth. So the demand is there, and it's really up to us individually to pursue this goal of becoming, pilot, if that is what you want to do. And of course, I don't want you to think that the only area to think about in terms of job opportunities is just the pilot side or flying side. You also can think about the technician side. The maintenance, of these airplanes are actually conducted by people too. So these people would always be needed for the foreseeable future. So let's dig into some of this document. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I've gone through it and I just want to share the key points with you. Starting with the Boeing's Outlook, which is the pilot and technician outlook, projects, that 602,000 new pilots, 610,000 new maintenance technicians, and 899,000 new cabin crew members will be needed to fly and maintain the global commercial aviation fleet over the next 20 years. So this projection is between 2022 and 2042. Now, all of these projections also considered some of the factors that we experienced, some of the issues that we experienced globally in 2021, the pandemic, of course. So the demand is, of course, rising to a point where it's surpassing 2019 levels in terms of passenger demand and even aircraft demand. I'm not sure if you guys have seen lately, Air India recently ordered about 300 Boeing planes. That is something that made the news last week. So I think this is a great news for us as people that are in this industry, aviation lovers, of course. Because of the shortage in pilots that we're already seeing, a lot of airlines have decided to start pivoting by starting cadet programs, by signing up with flight schools so that they can continue to get influx of candidates to fly. All of this is all designed so that they can continue to keep the airlines flying, keep the airlines sustainable and get new candidates. According to the recent information that I acquired, it takes around 85,000 on an average to get your ratings as a pilot. That's a lot of money. A lot of people would often just use that money to go to a college, for example, and use maybe half of that for college. But in this case of training and getting your ratings, just the ratings alone can cost around 85,000. Now, by the time you include college plus training, this can go all the way up to around 100 and something thousand, 110, 120,000 and above for just that. So that kind of often discourage a lot of people in pursuing interest in this industry. Now, what are the airlines doing? The airlines are pretty much then finding ways to support candidates, which is why they've instituted cadet programs. These cadet programs are there to benefit pilots, but some of them can be a trap. So be careful and look into the cadet programs you're signing up for. The other thing to keep in mind is that the reason why these cadet programs are being instituted is not necessarily for you, even though it's a two-way street, right? It's mostly for the airlines to be able to keep their airplanes flying. So always think about that. It's all to benefit the airlines at the end of the day, even though it benefits you because they support you in maybe financially so that you can complete your ratings. But at the same time, always look into the fine prints to make sure that you are getting into something that you will be happy with long term. Now, according to the projections, one of the things that they shared, which I'm going to put up on the screen, is also the outlook by region. And if you notice, in North America, they will need around 435,000 pilots, by the way, and technicians. And in Europe, it's around 449,000. In Africa, 67,000. Southeast Asia, 193,000. South Asia, 114, and it goes on. And you can see all these numbers. Now, the reason why this is all sharing, why I'm bringing this to your attention is, if you look at the total numbers that they're looking at, it's almost 2 million, all right, new personnel demand in total. So the point here is the aviation sector, and these are just the airlines, these are the main operators in these countries. When you look into the private jet sectors, that's even a different sector entirely that I do not think this document covers. Now, Airbus predicts traffic will recover to 2019 levels between 2023 and 2025. This is something that I want you to know, that it's already done that, especially in North America. All right, it's already gotten to that level, and according to projections, by this summer, it should exceed that number even more. Passenger traffic growth is predicted to be around 3.6%, and freight traffic growth will be around 3.2%. And it says here 39,500 new aircraft deliveries will be needed, of which more than 2,400 new and converted freighters. 80% will typically be single-aisle aircraft, and 20% will be wide bodies. All of these airplanes that are being delivered will need people to operate them. They will need pilots, technicians, cabin crews, ground crews. So the point here is the aviation industry is looking very solid, and it's now up to us to be prepared and be able to get into the industry when the time opens up for you, if that is what you're pursuing. Getting that rating, getting the training done as soon as possible will be important. The reason is it prepares you for these opportunities that are coming up. And this has been true, by the way. I've been following this Outlook. I remember in 2010, when I started my flight training, they released an Outlook between 2010 and 2020. And the Outlook really was on point. Now, of course, nobody really expected the pandemic to occur, but in terms of demand, in terms of growth, that Outlook really was correct. So the point here is this Outlook that they released definitely is a signal to us that the industry looks very strong and the opportunities are there, no matter the region you're coming from, whether it's Africa, Europe, Asia, and so forth. So I hope that you found value in this video. I hope that you've gotten some information. I don't want you to be fearful of what the future holds. The aviation industry looks strong, and the opportunities will continue to be there, at least for the next 20 years. So don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, if you have any questions, leave in the comment section below. I always encourage that you leave questions for me so that I can always return to you. Thanks. See you in the next one.